Formula One prepares for another startling sequence of a silly season, with some of the sport's top names apparently eager to shift environments. What are some of the wildest scenarios that could happen in 2026, given that Russell and Verstappen have the most important pieces? More importantly, what decision did Cadillac make for their own 2026 lineup? And could we witness another surge of rookies in 2026? Or will we see more veterans return to the grid? Let's start with some of the major names. Max Verstappen has been making a lot of noise about his future in the sport, and he's not to blame. It's a classic example of how silence can speak louder than words. And, despite Max refuting rumors that he would leave Red Bull sooner rather than later, his actions on the track suggest otherwise. We must not forget Toto Wolff's statement regarding his driver lineup and how he will not select drivers who believe they are much above the team. Russell's contract with Mercedes has yet to be extended, which gives us plenty of wiggle room to negotiate what comes next. Obviously, Wolff will not give up until he is convinced Verstappen is unavailable. As long as there's a slight chance of bringing him in, even if it's only 1%, the Austrian will pursue the Dutchman's talents and make the ideal lineup of Verstappen and Antonelli a reality in 2026. Wolff expressed his desire for a driver lineup, stating, "There are other people who are a part of your success, and how I've been managing this since the first day that I've been in Formula One is that I make no difference between the two drivers and the rest of the company. I've been telling them that there are 2,500 superstars on this team, whether they work in the machine shop, in cleaning, in aerodynamics, or driving the car. I'm not going to treat you any differently than any of the other people. If you're selfish and you put our joint success at risk or you damage our brand, then I'm going to be ruthless about it. You have no part in this team." We should also mention Russell's future here. The British driver has performed admirably with Mercedes this season, winning a race in Canada, but he is unsure whether he will remain with the Brackley-based team. George does not appear to be trying to avoid the situation. He understands that Max is in high demand, and if every team had a spare seat, they would offer it to Verstappen. However, in the world of Formula One, things do not work exactly as expected. Every decision has its own risk-reward scale, and Russell finds this to be very interesting. Aston Martin has targeted him as the future boss of their project beginning in 2026, as the Silverstone-based club may be ready to push Alonso into early retirement. Although the Brit stated unequivocally that his future with Mercedes is not secured and that he is not in talks with other teams, we cannot take this declaration as a promise. Some events, such as the Verstappen-Mercedes alliance, may occur outside Russell's control. This is why he and George discussed a possible future collaboration if certain events beyond their control occurred. Aston Martin has also identified this opportunity. The team, directed by Lawrence Stroll, recognizes that Verstappen, if available, will be a difficult target due to the Mercedes connection. So they have to settle for the second best driver available, which in this case is Russell. But what is the British position on this question? George expressed uncertainty about his future in Formula One and with Mercedes. "I'm not talking with anybody else, and any teams who have shown interest. I've been quite open to saying my intentions are to stay with Mercedes. That's always been clear. And, I'm loyal to Mercedes. They gave me this chance to get into Formula One. There haven't been any hard feelings with any of the talks that have been going around, especially around Max. Because like I've said numerous times, why wouldn't teams be interested in Max if everybody could sign him? However, it would make the most sense for Russell to join Red Bull if he is not a member of Mercedes, for a simple reason. He has a guaranteed seat and will work on a renowned project led by Horner. After all, he might be enticed by the prospect of winning races alongside Verstappen. Now that the newly controlled era is a major question mark for everyone, it is not guaranteed that one team will have a significant advantage over the others. From 2026 onwards, it's uncertain territory, and Russell must demonstrate that he's one of the finest drivers on the circuit right now. Now let's go on to one of the returning veterans, Valtteri Bottas, especially given his recent statement against Cadillac. The Finn released a video in which he casually mentions the free seats in a Cadillac SUV. implying that he is prepared for the American team's 2026 mission. The 10-time race winner has been linked to a comeback to the sport for quite some time, but it appears that the jigsaw has finally been solved. Although the team has yet to make an official announcement, the widespread consensus is that one of those spots will be filled by Bottas, with the other going to either a younger driver like Joe, Schumacher, or Drugovich, or a veteran like Perez. Time will tell if Cadillac will commit to a two-veteran lineup, but it appears that they are now willing to put their trust in Bottas, who will benefit from his previous experience with Ferrari engines from 2022 to 2025. And it was clear that Bottas's position is in Formula One. He rejected down numerous invitations to race in other championships, including as the WEC and NASCAR, which gives Cadillac insight into his Finnish discipline. He is undoubtedly the type of driver you want on your team, but who should he be paired with? So far, the selections have been reduced down to the drivers I listed, and Cadillac is rumoured to go with a combination of veterans and new drivers, similar to Audi. This means that if they sign Bottas, Perez's chances will be reduced, despite his popularity in the United States and the significant cash boost he will give. Still, it's up to the American squad to decide and make an official announcement, as we're getting a sense of what kind of approach they want to take with their drivers. Isaac Hadjar is another name that has been mentioned frequently by F1 analysts. The former F2 driver became the youngest challenger to win a pole position, a sprint, and a feature race in the F2 championship, so he should have a lot to offer the F1 world. Red Bull had already put him through intense testing in Imola, and the results were astonishing for someone who had never driven an F1 car before. And now he's Red Bull's following Verstappen, despite only driving a Racing Bull car all season. This increases the strain on the current Austrian team drivers, particularly Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda. Hadjar has been performing exceptionally well, and the situation is slowly but steadily shaping up to be a promotion for him alongside Verstappen. Yuki Tsunoda has received his fair share of warnings from both Horner and Marko, and if the results do not arrive on their porch by the end of the season, make no mistake, the trigger will be pulled on Tsunoda. If this happens, Hadjar will be promoted to Red Bull. The Frenchman has already stated that he will embrace this opportunity, even though he is not prepared for it. The reality is that opportunities like this only come along once in a lifetime. And, now that Verstappen's future is uncertain, Hadjar could see himself as the team's leader in the near future. Again, all of this is tied to Tsunoda's bad performance. Despite scoring points on 5 of 10 times this year, he is still under fire for his Red Bull performance. He waited 5 years for the seat promotion, and now the car's behaviour is a big question mark. For the time being, conjecture reigns supreme, and it is up to big names like Verstappen and Russell to pull the trigger and set the ball rolling. With all of this in mind, who do you believe has the greatest potential to create a bombshell in Formula One? More significantly, how do you envision the grid appearing in the first year of the new regulations? Please let us know in the comments below.